Oh, I see a lot of these sort of, oh gosh, I think they're just like completely sham artists, sort of financial gurus that pop up. There's only a few. Like I like Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey. I'm a big fan, except for political views, but um, in general, like, there's not a lot of people that are doing good financial advice. The number of times that something has popped up on social media, because I think like it sort of targets me in terms of social media, um, because I talk about finance and stuff like that every once in a while. But the number of sort of financial gurus that come up that are just absolute scam artists, it's incredible. It's the same line as the same thing. You're not rich. You need to get rich because look at me. I've got all of this stuff, and this is how you do it. You do this one particular system, and the way that you do this particular system, you call me up and you give me, and then once you call up, and then it's like, well, you got to give me 5 million bucks or whatever, some silly number, but it's just a giant scam. And I don't know how these things work. I don't know how, in the sense, I don't understand how people keep falling for this stuff because it's blatant garbage. And, if somebody was being truthful, they would tell you to go slow and steady. There is like no there's like no magic, right? It's just step by step by step by step by step. The whole thing is just a slow step by step process where it's one thing after the other, one thing after the other, and it's just grinding work. If you really want to make a big difference in your life, you got to put in grinding work for a decade, probably 2 decades, and there'll be like little opportunities that will come your way, right? Like you can make those opportunities happen, but there's a lot more work to do that. But there's little opportunities that come your way, and you jump on those little tiny opportunities that come your way. If you need to increase your, revenue stream for your household, for example, the amount of money that's coming into your house, salaries basically and wages, you look for these like little opportunities that pop up, and then you jump on them that kind of help you out, right? Maybe it's a new job that pops up, or maybe it's you know maybe doing a different role at work, and you can get paid a little bit more, and you increase your salary like that. But then on the other side is this sort of little incremental sort of ratcheting down on the costs that you actually have, right? And you're doing that, it's like looking at, okay, let's shop at Walmart more than we shop at, the premium grocery store, for example, for groceries. And you just do that time and time again, over and over and over. I get access to like an FSA plan at flexible spending account. And well, I use that. Yes, it's a pain in the ass to do this thing, and yes, it only saves me like $500, but we do that every year because that's $500. It's a lot of money. Um, and or there's this like, you know, savings thing that we get from our healthcare plan that we get an extra $150 back if we send them in and we tell them that we're part of a health plan, and they'll give us $150. Well, yes, it's not a lot of money, and yes, it's a pain in the ass to fill out this paperwork, right? And it's always paperwork, it's always a lot of work, but you do that, right? You do that because it's $150. It's a lot of money. That's an entire free meal, um, perhaps even two meals, but you know, realistically, for a family of four now, it's getting close to be just a meal that's for free, right? And there's all sorts of things that are like that, and we forget about them. And instead, we want to get that sort of quick fix. If we do this one thing, everything's going to change. Follow this one plan, everything changes. But it's just this grinding work over time and doing things that are financially better for you over time. Just doing that kind of stuff, simple things. Like if you're a student right now, don't be getting, limit that amount of credit that's coming in, or line of credit as much as you possibly can. Live poorly, live very poorly. Basically, that's the secret, right? Live poorly, um, get more money coming in. As a student, you can't do that. But if you are working, then you could try to get more money coming in. You could work multiple jobs, right? Like, so, and I'm not saying like go get two of the same jobs or what you're doing. I'm not trying to do, and I wouldn't tell you to do social media either. It's pretty pathetic. For a long time, I make peanuts, like 50 cents basically, a day on this podcast. Maybe that's even too much, pennies, like 10 cents a day. Um, and that's not gonna, it's not gonna make any money for a long time, right? That kind of stuff doesn't. However, what makes money and you can get a job that's not going to interfere with anything else is like cutting grass. It's delivering pizzas. It's doing really simple things, driving for Uber, like really simple things that are after hours, that are escapism on top of it, so it's good for you, and that allow you to to work at the same time. Now, obviously, I'm not a big fan of overworking. I think too many people burn out, too many people have serious mental problems because of it. But if you need it, it's not a bad deal, right? If you actually need some cash, whatever, right? And we forget that we can do those kind of things, and it's simple, easy cash that help out. And you have to sort of pull that line every once in a while, like, okay, well, you know what? We need to do this. I need to bring in income. I got to find something. So let's find something. Let's do it. Um, so what I'm getting at is that there's no sort of system, right? The only system that I know of that actually works is investing 10 to 20%. So say 15%. That's what our family does. We actually do more, um, in long-term investments like mutual funds. And this is exactly what any of the real legitimate financial planner folks that are popular online, that's what they're going to tell you, the same stuff. The Susie Ormans, the Dave Ramseys. It's just little slightly different takes on it, and then making sure that you limit the liabilities that you actually have, right? And how do you do that? Well, you think about having insurance, health insurance, and things like that. Be careful with some of those insurances because sometimes they are a little scammy, but having like 20-year term insurance on 10 times your income, whatever, 10 to 12 times your income, that's exactly where you need to be. And that will be totally fine for you in the long run, right? Like, all of this is not, I'm not, like, this is not some sort of secret in any sort of way. Many, many people become extremely wealthy by doing this. You just don't know that they're extremely wealthy. So you don't, when you look around, this is the thing, when you look around the world and you see people, right? You go into a big stadium and there's 100,000 people in the stadium. You look around, the people that you think are wealthy are not really wealthy. And the people that you're like, when you completely discount them, they're pretty wealthy. They're doing okay, and that's pretty consistent, right? The status symbols of like fancy purses and things like that, those things blow your money. It sort of sends signal that those people care more about status than actually building wealth. Um, so you have to look at that now, right? Like there's a point when you have enough money that you can get those things, but most people don't have enough money, right, to have any of those status symbols. And even still, they're indicative of people living an opulent life, that don't necessarily doesn't demonstrate what is really going on behind the scenes of, that they don't have any money, that they are just scraping by, and the people that live plain Jane lives, plain Jane, right? Like really nothing to them. I guess it would be plain plain Jane and simple Jim, I guess. I don't know. But really, like, just very simple, very ordinary, very just plain. You can't sort of pick them out. They're non sort of descript, and they don't sort of do go out a lot. They don't eat out a lot. Like simple, very simple, basic stuff. Those people are the ones that are actually doing extremely well for who they are and where they are. And once you get that into your head, there's no opulent life. That doesn't happen. And then you start actually figuring out that, hey, I could do this. Let's live a good life and let's incrementally build this grind and grind and grind and grind. And you do that for a decade, you do that for 2 decades, and things happen. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.